Estou passando nesse podcast para dividir uma informação que fez toda a diferença na minha vida. Quer fazer pós-graduação, mas tá impossível correr de um lugar para o outro?
Pois é, ainda mais com o trânsito.
Então você precisa conhecer a educação à distância do Senac. Sabia que é nota máxima no MEC? E tem diversos cursos de pós-graduação para te levar ainda mais longe. 100% online, sem necessidade de TCC e com acesso direto a todos os professores.
Ah, saber isso fez diferença sim.
Inscreva-se já na pós-graduação EAD. Quer saber? Senac EAD.
Today on CityCast Philly, we're talking about added security measures on SEPTA now that classes are back in session, floating on the Schuylkill, plus we've got a Philly news quiz. It's Tuesday, August 27th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week is Asha Prihar, our Hey Philly newsletter editor. Hey, Asha.
Hi, Trenae.
Hey. And Joss Duncan Ashe, founder and CEO of Love Now Media, which is a nonprofit news organization focused on amplifying acts of love at the intersection of social justice, wellness, and equity. Joss, welcome to CityCast Philly.
Thank you so much, Trenae.
Before we get into the episode, CityCast Philly's second anniversary is coming up. To celebrate, we'll be giving away a brand new tote bag to one lucky listener. If you'd like to be entered to get the bag, give us a call at 215-259-8170 and leave a message about your favorite CityCast Philly episode and something you'd like to see us do next. So the number is 215-259-8170. All right, let's get into some of the news. So the first day of school for students in the School District of Philadelphia was yesterday, Monday. And if you're traveling on SEPTA, you may have noticed that there's more officers in the subways, at the bus stops, and along trolley routes during times when kids are commuting to school. And that's because the transit agency is working with the police department and the school district to add more officers before and after school to keep kids safe. So according to some reporting from CBS 3, SEPTA plans to intensify patrols in areas where multiple schools are nearby. They're going to crack down on fare evasion and smoking and ask students to use their district-provided fare cards for every trip. And this is to keep track of the most heavily used routes. How do y'all feel about this safety plan?
I'm fascinated by the idea that safety translates to being patrolled and having more police officers there to kind of watch and potentially, arrest people. So the idea of this doesn't necessarily make me feel safe. It makes me feel afraid.
Okay. Because there's more, like you said, more patrol watching.
Yeah, I get it. It's kind of an immediate solution to try and address some of the things that have been going on. But it feels like, whoa, what's really at the root of why people are having trouble on SEPTA? There has to be something else that can be done to really speak to the root cause of the problems that are happening. But I guess this is a start. So, if our kids feel more safe with more police officers, then great. But for me, this strikes me as making our kids feel like, they're being watched constantly and possibly punitively, put into some kind of system that could harm them even more if they do anything wrong. So.
Well, let me just add, too, that SEPTA will also have some folks monitoring their 30,000 surveillance cameras during these peak times. And that's also according to the report. So, again, more monitoring to your point with this plan. Asha, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I'm honestly not quite sure. But I think for me, one of the sort of big questions is, are kids going to end up feeling like these stepped up patrols, do they make them feel safer or do they make them feel like they're the problem? And, sometimes kids are unruly on public transit. I don't want to discount the fact that does happen, but I kind of just I sort of wonder sort of like what's running through kids' heads when they see like more police, and like are they feeling like, oh, like I am going to be okay on my way home, or are they feeling like they're the ones being watched?
Mhm.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of curious, kind of what the goal is here, like whether, you know, the reason for the step patrols is like to stop bad behavior among kids, or if it's like to protect the kids, or if it's a little bit of both. So yeah, I think it's like a very complex, complicated issue,
For
and
sure.
I don't know that this is the answer. Maybe it is. I'm curious to see sort of what comes out of this, and if, you know, there is a better like feeling of safety, whether there are fewer incidents of, you know, violence or anything like that.
Yeah, I think both of you make some really great points. For me, though, taking public transportation between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. has been like uncomfortable for many, many years. And I feel like it's because of this like behavior that happens and it often gets unchecked. And it just makes things uncomfortable if you're not a student. Like if you are someone else trying to travel in the city during those times, you're like super alert, you know, maybe more so or similarly how you would be more alert like at night. We don't often get to talk about that. Like those hours of travel sometimes are super uncomfortable because of just like the unexpected behavior that happens on SEPTA.
But that it just makes me wonder if there are any alternatives. So, for example, you're saying we don't often get to talk about that. What if there were people on the buses or on the public transportation systems that would just talk to kids or be a listening ear or help to provide resources that people might need? Or what if there was more art during those hours? Could you imagine if maybe the city funded an arts program where young artists or artists could sing or dance or play instruments and receive some kind of a stipend, or if there were some mental health or coaches or something
Mm-hmm.
available to folks. So I mean, I don't want to be one of those people where every solution is a problem. But it does seem like there are some opportunities to really reimagine what safety could look like. And I would love to see folks try and put a more creative, love focused lens on it. So,
You can read more about SEPTA's enhanced safety plan by clicking the link in our show notes. More news after the break. All right. Well, speaking of art, there is a new art installation that is coming to the Schuylkill River. Mural Arts Philadelphia will soon unveil Float Lab, a floating observation deck. Joss and Asha, have you seen the renderings for this?
yes.
I have, yeah.
What are your thoughts? Like, what do you think about this structure?
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this before.
Right. So if you haven't seen it, it's this big, bright green object that is shaped like a ring. There is an opening in the middle that you can actually look over to see the water, and it has an 88 compliant path all around it.
I'm fascinated by it. It looks like some kind of a alien space water ship thing.
Asha, what about for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's definitely, it looks creative. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. Like I just have never considered a concept like this before.
It's going to be curious to see like this thing actually in real life. Like I wonder if it's going to be as big as I imagine it to be. But anyway, so in a Philly Magazine article, it was reported that Float Lab is expected to be floating near Bartram's Garden in Southwest Philly. And folks will be able to walk down the structure, and it is said to be designed in such a way that it will remain the same level no matter if a tide is moving in or not. I also read that as you walk to the lowest point on the path, the water of the Schuylkill will be at chest level.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. According to the Mural Arts website, It will also be able to host classroom visits or even like painting classes. Could you imagine those views like while you're painting? And I don't know, like I feel like the Schuylkill River, this is good for the Schuylkill. I feel like the Schuylkill gets a lot of like bad press, and I feel like this is a good idea.
Not just bad press, it gets a lot of bad stuff put in it.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, I really love this idea. And I think, it really speaks to the incredible work that mural arts and Bartram's Garden have been doing in the city for years. They're such valuable institutions in the city, and for them to collaborate, I'm not sure what the design process was like, but it seems like it's a collaboration. I'm just really moved by it. I think I trust both of those organizations because of how they have developed programming in the past. And so I can't wait to support this. I also think it brings a lot of like excitement, healing. Some people are complaining online, like, we don't need that. We need the Schuylkill to be clean, or we need other things. And yeah, I get it, but it's also exciting to have something really cool that's creative, that offers an opportunity to see something that's just different in the city. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I also think it's interesting, sort of just like the number of projects that have been announced for the Schuylkill River in the last couple of years. So this reminded me of this proposal that I saw in, I want to say 2022, called the Floating Water Workshop, which is supposed to be near Fairmount Waterworks. And it's kind of like another thing that they're sort of building out into the river. I'm not really sure what the status of it is, but like it was announced about 2 years ago. I don't know if construction has started or anything like that. And then there was also a couple months ago on the podcast, we talked about that like Schuylkill Beach proposal in University
I
City.
forgot about that.
Yeah. It's just so interesting to me, like in 10 years, like, are we gonna recognize kind of like the Schuylkill waterfront in Philadelphia compared to what it is now? And like I think right now it's like pretty nice. And like I think there's like, the Schuylkill River Trail is beautiful, but I think it'll be great to kind of have even like more sort of destinations and like things to do along there, and just like ways to like kind of interact with the waterfront. And like, like sometimes living in a city, I feel like it can be like you might feel a little like disconnected from sort of like the environment and like environmental issues. But I think this is something that really like brings you very up close to chest level, apparently, to the river and to nature.
To your point, this is probably one of my favorite places to walk, to run, to bike, just to visit in Philly, because it's so peaceful, it's scenic. And I don't know, I think it would be a great mixture to get like those natural elements and then like bringing art to this space to get more people down there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
So Float Lab is expected to come in 2026. So we've got a few more years. When we come back, let's see how well we've been following the local news. All right, Asha and Joss, are you ready to have some fun and play the Philly News Quiz?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready.
All right.
Asha, do you already know the answers?
No.
I promise there is no information sharing.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So question 1, school starts this week for the School District of Philadelphia, and the bell schedules vary. But some schools are starting as early as 7:30 for high school students. But over in the Lower Merion School District, students go back September 3rd. And this year, high school students are getting an extra hour of sleep. What time does high school start in that district? I've got multiple choice for you. Is it A, 7:45 a.m., B, 8 a.m., C, 8:30 a.m., or D, 9 a.m.?
9 a.m.
I feel like I heard about this, and I want to say, I want to agree. I think it's 9 a.m.
Well, the answer is C, 8:30,
What?
which seems like an okay time. So they were previously going to school at 7:30. High school students will start at 8:30 a.m. and end their day at 3:15. So according to the Inquirer, this topic has been debated for years, and now it changed because They want to better align schooling with adolescent sleep schedules.
That's interesting.
Do you think Philadelphia School District should adopt this policy and give high school students like an extra hour of sleep?
I don't, I don't really have an opinion. I mean, I think the people who are in Philly, should be, I don't know. If they don't think the students need an extra hour of sleep, then I think I trust what they think. So.
Because the earlier you start, that means the earlier you can get out.
True. Yeah, I'm usually pretty pro like extra sleep. I am not a morning person at all, but I don't have a kid in high school or a kid at all. So it's like I don't know if I really have an opinion on this specific issue, but
yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a tough one. How about you, Trinae? You're a mom.
I would say get them in, although if there is no after school programming, it's hard. And if they don't have jobs, that's when it gets tricky. I think if they do have jobs, get them in earlier so they can get out, so they can go to work and get as many hours as they can. Because, there's, certain stipulations because of their age and all that kind of stuff. But I say, wake up, get to school, get out the house. Okay, question 2. We're going to stay on the back to school theme. This is the back to school edition. But recently, the School District of Philadelphia held a ribbon cutting at a $62 million renovation of a century-old elementary school. This happened at the Lewis C. Cassidy Academics Plus School. What neighborhood is that located? Is it A, Olney, B, Old City, C, Strawberry Mansion, or D, Overbrook?
What did you say the name of the school was?
Lewis C. Cassidy Academics Plus School.
I don't know where that school is.
Overbrook.
I'll guess. Oh, this is just a total guess. I'm going to guess A.
A, Olney? Ding, 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 Jazz, you're the winner. The Lewis C. Cassidy Academics Plus School is located in West Philadelphia's Overbrook neighborhood. According to Chalkbeat Philadelphia, there's a new playground, a sensory room for pre-K students, an innovation lab, and other amenities. This is the second school building in the district to open this year. And according to Chalkbeat, on average, Philadelphia school buildings are 73 years old, which has made them, vulnerable to crumbling infrastructure, damaged asbestos, and some with no air conditioning.
Well, that's very exciting for that school.
I know.
Yeah, I hope it's one of the larger ones that can accommodate a lot of students, because that sounds like a plush way to start your school career.
Yes. Okay. Question 3. Now, this is not about school, although some kids might be sad about this. But what ice cream brand, which started in Philadelphia back in 1954, is seeing more of its franchises closing?
Oh.
Do you have options?
No options for this one.
No options?
Oh. Started in Philly in 1954. Ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that is mainly still just in our region, or has it gone national?
Yes, this has become a national brand.
Is it Breyers?
No.
Is it? I'm totally blanking on
ice cream chains.
I'm thinking of
I know it's not Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry's definitely. They're from
They're very
Vermont or something.
Yeah.
Right? And then Dairy Queen. Did Dairy Queen start here? I feel like I would know that.
Okay, if I say this hint, it might give it away. It's a mobile chain.
Mobile? Oh! Mr. Softy?
Yes, you both got it!
Yes. Well, I actually got the music before I got the name, so...
So yes, it's Mr. Softy truck. So according to a recent CNN report, there were more than 2,000 Mr. Softy trucks in 38 states during the company's peak back in the 1960s. Now there's only 630 Mr. Softy trucks driving around in 21 states. And they say it's because of competition. It's more competition out there. So, yeah, less Mr. Softy trucks. I feel like this is actually a thing. Definitely, it feels like there's, I don't know, especially here in Philly, like there's more ice cream options or frozen treat options that we have here. And it's like local stuff like, you know, Cloud Cup serves gelato in Kensington. You got Chubby's down in South Philly. Obviously, water ice is all over at different locations. There's like, I get ice cream for like $3 at King's on 33rd Street, or if I'm in Upper Darby, I'll go to Fred's and, you know, that sort of thing. So there's
also just ice cream at McDonald's, and I think you can get ice cream from
yes, you
Chick-fil-A
can.
or yeah. So not only are they competing with the Rita's water ices that are like, you know, not really mobile, but kind of spread out, but you can just add ice cream to pretty much anything. So I think as a brand, if they had branded ice cream Mr. Softy at, say, Wendy's or Chick-fil-A, that could be a really cool business move to, you know, kind of have the mobile brand at some of these places that are selling ice cream. We don't know the name of those ice creams, but they would probably sell more if it was like, you can get your Mr. Softy ice cream at Wendy's now.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a good. Look at you going out with all these great ideas. I love it. But there's something about getting that chocolate dipped cone that is just like.
Oh, come on. With Jimmy?
Oh, my gosh. I have to have Rainbow Jimmy's.
I feel like it's the fact that they're like there, that you're like, oh, what? I want ice cream now.
Yeah, like hurry up, get the bag, get the wallet.
Yeah, like it's like run outside. Like, yeah. But I feel like it's kind of the spontaneity of it all that I think is the magic of Mr. Softy.
Yeah, that's super nostalgic. And I feel like also too, like you can't get Mr. Softies in November if you have like an ice cream craving. So maybe they should go and link up with another brand so you can get it all year round. All right, well, maybe they'll listen to this episode and listen to all these great ideas. That was Josh Duncan Ashe, founder and CEO of Love Now Media, and our very own Asha Prihar, Hey Philly newsletter editor. Thank you both so much for joining me on CityCast Philly.
So much fun talking with you both.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Trinae. It was super fun to talk with you guys.
And make sure you check out Love Now Media and Love Now Magazine. They're planning a live event on September 12th at the Bayou Lounge and Bar from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll have a link in the show notes. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this episode, tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. Also, don't forget to enter for a chance to win our birthday giveaway. We'll be back Thursday morning with more news from around the city. Bye.